Ki Fateh. So moving right along from last month when we discussed, all of us, the 19th party of Asank Nav Asank Thav, we're on to Pariye Hath Pair Tande Pani Tote Utras Khe Moot Paliti Kappar Hoye De Sabun Laiye Otoe Pariye Mat Papa Ke Sang ओ तो पै नावे के रंग पुन्नी पापी आखन नाहे कर कर करना लिख ला जाए आपे बीज आपे ही खाओ नानक हुक्मी आवो जाओ. In the previous three pauris, Guru Sahib had talked about various kinds of people and places. Asank Jap, Asank Pao, all the saints, all the sages, Asank Murak Andagor, all the foolish ones like us, Asank Nav, Asank Thav, all the places, right? In this one, because it's all a continuation, step by step, he's taking us to different levels of expansion. Pariye Hath Pair Tande. Here, Guru Sahib is talking about the cleansing of the body and the cleansing of the mind. Because we are physical beings, mental beings, spiritual beings, emotional beings. We have many levels. And the grossest and the most obvious is the physical. Unfortunately, we get stuck at the physical. It's a beautiful body. And all our time and energy is spent in nourishing it beyond where the nourishment is required. And that's why the rate of obesity is so high. We go to the other end of the spectrum and we start exercising it, and that's why you see the 100-milers and the marathoners and all that, and people who say that they can lift 200 pounds of bars, right? But it remains at the physical level. It remains at the level of beautifying the body, strengthening the body, adorning the body, embellishing the body, cleaning the body. And there is a multi-billion-dollar industry in America that helps you cleanse and perfume the body to the optimum. So don't use soap now. Use these beautiful milled things from almonds and use this chana flour or whatever, and then perfume it, right? And all of this is to cleanse the body, to beautify the body, to perfume the body, to make it look optimum, to make it look beautiful. The Guru Sahib refers to it saying, when the body gets unclean, we know what to do. We wash it. And we remove the dirt. It's easy. There's water there. There are those wipes there now. You just pick it up and they get rid of the dirt as well as the bacteria. We know what to do. We know how to cope with that. There's a lot of dust around, right? And we know how to get rid of it. Pariye hath pair tande, pani tote utras khe. The dust is removed. Easy breezy, right? And if it gets further soiled, when there's feces on it, when there's urine on it, as it is when you are raising a child, you know what to do. You know how to handle it. You take soap and you scrub it on that. And it comes out nice and clean. You put it out in the sun to dry. If there are any stains, they are taken away. If there's any odor, that goes away. We've become pretty good at that. The civilization has taught us how to take care of the stains, and there are all these stain removers now that remove all kinds of stains. So mankind has made a lot of advances in the cleansing of the body. Now, if you happen to be of a certain spiritual ilk, you can also say that I took a dip in the Ganges and I have cleansed my mind. There are traditions that believe that. I've gone there and mere paap dhul gaye. I have taken a dip. And wonder of wonders, I have been blessed enough that I can go to the Kumbh Mela, where millions of people go, and now not only has the water cleansed my dirt, but it has cleansed my mind as well. There are traditions that totally believe that. And that's why to this day, the Kumbh Melas that happen, I don't know, every 7 years or whatever, have millions of people coming from all over the world. It's not just the third world countries, it's not just India, but it's people from America that go, people from Australia that go, people from Africa that go, just to take that special dip, because those people feel that this dip, this water is so holy and these moments are so auspicious that I will not just be able to remove the dirt from my mind, from my body, but also from my mind. But the Guru says, pause there, that's not the way to cleanse the mind. पर ये मत पापा के संग ए तो पे नावे के रंग. If the mind is layered with dirt, and we know that it is, because elsewhere Guru Sahib tells us, is man ko janam janam ki mal lagi. We talked about it last time, that this mind is covered with layers and layers of impressions and sanskars and actions that have crystallized into coal, and the dirt is so dense that the mind has become black, absolutely kala hua sha. So how do we cleanse it? The Guru Sahib says, Nave ke rang. It is only through the Naam. Now coming back to what we have learned about Naam, in Japji Sahib, we said that Naam was the essence of Vaheguruji, right? Naam was everything that Vaheguruji is, that pure energy, that benevolence, that grace, that compassion, that forgiveness, that fearlessness, that flawlessness, that is Naam. That Ek Onkar, that manifestation in the entire world of Naam is all of those goodnesses, all of those virtues. So, O Tope Nave Ke Rang, when we come close to that beautiful energy, by chanting it, by being in the Sangat of people who are immaculate. You know, all of us are dirty and all of us are soiled, but there is only one Niranjan, there is only one immaculate, Nirmal. Sirf ek hai, that hum avgun pare. You know, Mati ka kya tope Swami. Vari vari, in different instances, in different verses, Babaji is telling us that we're not immaculate. We're soiled. Why are we soiled? Shall we pause and think about that for a second? Why are we soiled? In the physical form, we are soiled because we deal with the muck, the physical muck of the world. And the mental plane, we are soiled because we deal with the mental muck, because the karam, the thoughts, the actions, when they're not pure, they leave their impressions. Just as when you put your hand in dirt, it leaves its marks, right? Whatever you dip your physical body in, whatever color, whatever element, it leaves its marks. When that leaves its marks, you know how to deal with it. We've just talked about that. Similarly, your thoughts, your actions, everything that we do leaves its marks. Every thought, every word, every action that stems for us leaves its indelible marks on our consciousness, on our soul. And the interesting part is that when the body that we've taken so much care of turns to dust and turns to ashes, these indelible marks, they don't get erased. The body may turn to ashes, but these remain potent and powerful, and they go with us, they travel with our soul. They stay with us.
Just use the word sanskar earlier. Exactly what is that?
So, how I understand it is, thanks for asking, impressions. Everything that we do, it's like lines, it's marking. Think of it as marking, but these are invisible markings. These are impressions that we gather through our actions, through our thoughts, and they get written in ink that we cannot see, but they are there. And this is what makes us. This is what creates our DNA. This is what makes us who we are in another incarnation, because they go with us. They travel with us because they are not of this lifetime only. We have gathered all this. Kala hua shah, kithe nazar aanda man kala hoya hoya? Can we see it?
DNA is placed from the parents only, not from your previous.
Well, where does that come from?
What parents you get were impacted by what you did in your previous life?
I think sanskar is basically not just from parents, but from the society. Like the child doesn't just learn from his parents, right? From the teachers, from the school, from the peers, from the friends. So whatever he learns or whatever makes an impact on him, that's kind of like become a value to him. But parents definitely play a big role in it, because for a child, the parents are like an ideal. Like, so he's gonna only adopt the values that the parents are kind of like for. But then sometimes the friends and the peers have like a bigger influence on his.
So sanskars are impressions, sanskars are influences that turn into impressions. See, sanskars are, the reference to sanskar in Bani is that they create, they are indelible. You carry them with you. These are impressions not just of this lifetime, not just of these parents, not just of this environment, because we believe that we reincarnate. That
well, I would say, because we've been Shri Radhina Gurbani Vichaar in the Shabbat that we did yesterday, it's still fresh in the mind, so I just did that Shabbat. If the Raha of the Shabbat was Baba E Lekha Likhjar, right? And then in that entire Shabbat, Guru Nanak Pacha is actually explaining what Lekha you can write. So he actually contradicts the entire concept of predestiny, and he's actually telling you, I don't remember, Jal, Mo, Kasmas, that whatever, worldly influences you have, burn them and write the Lekha of Pyar.
That's true, but you have to burn them. So the question is here, it's not that they are not there. You have to burn them. But here, we're coming back to that you have them, that you carry them, and you have to burn them. And how do you burn them? You burn them with Naam. What is burning? Burning is transforming, right? Burning is cleansing. Fire cleanses, right? Just like water cleanses, fire cleanses. So you have to burn them. You're absolutely right. Baba kis tarah jalao? The whole Sri Guru Granth Sahib is about burning those negative energies that are sanskars, that are impressions, that have made the mind black. How do you cleanse it?
No, I agree that they have to, but it's a very, I believe that we have accumulated those males.
Yeah.
I don't know about previous janam, but I definitely know of this because Gurbani believes in the concept of nirakar, and then that's why it calls Rakshi Nirakar.
Yeah.
Right? Akar is shape.
Right.
Right? And the only one without the shape is God.
Right.
And he tells us that you have to have the same values of God, but we have a shape. Shape as in we shape.
We have the body and we shape our consciousness. Yeah, different nuances. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it's not our parents, or it's not the, my previous lives, but the things that Jeha Bija Solune, right?
Okay, so where do you go harvest it? You can do it in this lifetime, but when we cannot get away from the concept of Janam Janam, the very fact that Guru Sahib says, is man ko janam janam ki mal lagi. There is a concept of carrying over this mal, carrying over what you have earned, carrying over what you have bijod.
But isn't that like what, for me, my present moment?
That's fine. If that's what defines you, and that's what is meaningful to you, that's what resonates with you, that's fine. But Gurbani clearly tells us that you carry this janam janam ki mal lage. Babaji could have easily said is janam ki. That's not it. I think we can agree to differ on this, that you think that this is the present janam, that's fine. But in this janam itself, the negative energies, the negative thoughts have created have created enough of a layer of soil that it needs to be washed. So coming back to the cleansing, how is that cleansing done is the crux or the gist of this Shabad. That cleansing is done through Naam. So this body, Guru Sahib sees it as a field of action, where you plant the seeds of your thoughts and of your actions. So what seeds are you going to plant? So let's go back to the Shabad to the verse for a second. परिये हाथ पैर तंदे पानी तो तय उतरस के मूत पलीती कपड़ होए ते साबुन लिए उतोय परिये मत पापा के संग ए तो पे नावे के रंग पुन्नी पापी आखन नाय कर कर करना लिख ला जाए. So punni papi, these are not just words, these are not just epithets, these are not just adjectives. Punni papi akhanai, they are not just names, these are actual doers. Some are papi, some are punni, as Babaji has explained in the previous verses. Asank nav, asank thav, asank murak, asank japi, asank tapi, right? Punni papi akhanai kar kar karna likh la jaye. Everything that you do in this field of action, in this body, that is your field of action, you're going to take with you. Where? To other spaces. Jithe utthe jaat na jor hai, utthe ji nave. To those places where this body doesn't exist, where this form is not there. You carry these impressions with you. That is my belief. That is what I hear from Sri Guru Granth Sahib over and over again, that be watchful, be careful about what you do, and you are not just carrying the impressions of now, but of lifetimes of ignorance, of darkness.
Little like Jao also applies to the rest of this life.
Rest of this life, of course, it's at both the dimensions. Future in general.
Whether it's this life or future life, that's less of an issue than.
Yes, I agree. Yes, it's whatever it is. And you know what? We see it in this lifetime too. It comes back to bite us, and we can focus just on that. Whatever we are doing now, I mean, there are stories and stories that with just this verse itself, if we can just open up to discussion on what it is that we have seen in our own lifetimes coming back to bite us.
Since we're on the subject of transmigration, basically, in Hinduism there's a lot of stress on future lives. You do good actions, you'll get this, you do bad actions, do this. In Gurbani and Sikhism, the focus is on getting out of that cycle.
Getting out of that cycle.
Don't worry about future lives.
And that's what, absolutely, and that's where it goes in the next few pauris. So yes, absolutely, because we're not. There's a line that says, and I'm going to paraphrase it, that I don't want. It says, "Naam na mukha."
There is what hell and heaven, not wanting mukha chahu.
There you go. Right. I don't want that. I just want freedom from all this. Yeah, and that's our goal. Just freedom. Just sachkhand, nijkar. Just reaching there. Just jyoti jyot really. Yeah, jal ka jalwa ram. That is our goal. To go back, merge back with that light. Yes.
So I had two questions. One is I want to come back to how do you explain?
Yeah.
The second thing was the discussion we were having, right? So there is this Shabad Pariprapat
Manukh de horiya.
Govind Melati.
Eheu teri bariya.
So Guruji is saying ki etno manukha jana mein.
Right.
The Pariprapat Manukh de horiya Govind Melati is there bariya. But if you take the concept of this force travel, then are we assuming that it will get a human life next human life?
Who knows?
That's what I'm asking the assumption here.
So, okay, so let's go back to your first.
To say that is the norm, but you don't have to do it. If you follow the path of Naam, then you break that cycle.
What is path of Naam? What is Naam?
It is. It's the essence. It's the gun. Vaheguru de gun. See, guna kahove vasla. It's all about the virtues of Vaheguru. The essence. Naam ki hai? Thada naam ki hai?
So when you say
okay. Let me ask you your name. Let's go back for just a second. What's your name? Chetan Deep, right? When I say Chetan, people that know you, what do they think? What do they remember? Your pug? Do they remember your clothes? Do they remember the way your nose is made? It is your essence, है ना? It's no, not just Karam Naam. It's your essence. I want to think of it as your essence. It's who you are. In that moment, in that name is contained your essence as perceived.
How do I relate to it?
Through.
Give me any meaning of God.
Right.
I think it's more of God awareness. God awareness, being in tune, thinking of why when you say His name, you're thinking of Him, you're invoking His presence, you're experiencing Him. It's experiencing.
Translate into my life.
It's experiencing, thinking about life, experiencing the presence of living in that presence. It's constantly aware.
So I see it.
That's only in a couple of words. It's obviously deeper and broader than that.
I see the Naam as essence. I see the Naam as virtues. For me, personally, what resonates is the Mool Mantra. That is the essence of Vaheguruji. So it is the oneness, and we can talk about that a lot. We did when we started out. It's about the fearlessness, the formlessness, the compassion.
Basically what you are saying is these are virtues which we need to imbibe in our lives.
Come from Vaheguruji.
So, exactly. So these virtues that come from Vaheguruji, we need to imbibe in our lives.
Yes.
So basically, Naam means when we practically put these virtues in our life.
Absolutely.
That is Naam Japna.
That is living it, living the Naam.
That is basically Naam Japna, right?
Yes, and to me that is, it's okay. Now how does it happen? It doesn't happen easily. It doesn't happen easily.
I was going to say, it's if you only focus on qualities and good in your own life, you're missing the essence, which is the God essence of it. Now has to do with love of Vaheguru, with feeling His presence, and through that you are imbibing His virtues, His qualities. It's going through a divine path, not through. It's not just an ethical thing. It's not just saying I'll be a good person, I'll do X, Y, Z things, and that's now.
So when you
it's
say,
not, right?
When you say feeling His presence every moment of life, what I think is.
And the result of that should be you get those qualities.
Yeah.
So I think that how can we feel His presence every moment? Basically, is by seeing in others.
That's part of it.
Divine consciousness.
Seeing in everybody, then we not discriminate with anybody, and then serving those people, and that again comes back to virtues and serving. So basically, I'm coming back to the practical life rather than.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you that you have to practice those virtues that come from godliness, and you do it through devotion. Our path is that of bhakti, of devotion, of love for Vaheguruji. And what do we love about Vaheguruji? What do we love? The goodness, the beauty, the truth, the radiance, all the goodness. And so by coming into close proximity of that goodness through chanting, through devotion, through love, through sangat, through nadar and grace, that transformation happens within us and we become divinely conscious. That's how I understand it. And there are different interpretations.
A point there. For me, it is more like, karma karke milna. Karma means actions karke milna. Like, win karma ke mile. So,
Karam is also grace, bache.
In that sentence, it's grace.
It's grace also. Karam is grace.
Karma is grace, but जिस तरह से कल पढ़ रहे थे कि कर्म मिले तब पाइए नहीं दिल्ली गाओ तो like it won't get it by only talking. It will be only by when we do things.
प्रीतम के देश कैसे बातन से जाता है, not just by talking.
By doing. It's a hard job. It's vigilance of thoughts and actions. It's doing. I keep bringing up this line all the time that absolutely resonated in me. Satgur ki bani, Sat Swarup hai, right? Odi bani, oda Swarup hai, oda essence hai, odi embodiment hai. And then the next one is what completely resonates what you are saying. Gurbani baniye. Become that essence, become that goodness, become those virtues, become that love. Ultimately it's love. It's that radiance that Akal Purakh loves us. And it is through love, Jin prem kiyo tinhi prapayo, that we're going to gain that. And so all of these good qualities emanate from that love. Compassion comes from love. When you see that God, that supreme being's reflection, even in those whom you don't like, that's how it resonates in me. I mean, there's so many people you don't like.
But that you have to go beyond the personality and see the humanity, see those people as reflections. It's very difficult, very easy to say, but very, very difficult to do. I'm going to divert here and talk about betrayal and dhokha. May I? How much time do we have? I'll just take 2 minutes and I'll conclude this in time. All of us at some point in our life are deeply wounded, are deeply hurt, are deeply betrayed, or feel we are. And at that point, sometimes we think perhaps God has abandoned us. Shikayat aandi hai Vaheguru ji vaste. Even Jesus, when he was on the cross, said, "Why have you abandoned me, God?" Right? But that is the moment, that can become the moment of the greatest transformation within us. That can become the moment of the greatest expansion within us. When we learn to have compassion even for someone who has done us wrong, or we think we have done, and when we take the path of forgiveness, there is an expansion in the consciousness. It's like the final thing, that thing that congeals us breaks. But if we take, and that is Naam, that happens through Naam, through Bakshish, through consciousness, through love. And when we break that, we reach another plane. That's another milestone. And we have to, and if we don't, the alternative is that we get congealed and stuck in hatred and carry that burden. So all this is mal. O tope nave ke rang. Ode naam di, odi bakshish di, odi grace, oda pyar, oda compassion, odi benevolence. The beautiful Christian prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's a beautiful prayer. Our Father, thou art in heaven. Forgive us our trespasses. Saadiyan galtiyan maaf karo, just like we forgive those who trespass against us. So all this dirt, this mal, this revenge, eye for an eye feeling, that I hope you realize someday. I hope you get what you're giving. This feeling of ill will. All this is mal. And all this is washed by Nave ke rang. O tope Nave ke rang. Punni papi akhanai. They're not just names. Kaun hai papi? Jo paap karta hai, Gurbani says. It's just not a title. It's just not an esoteric description of beings out there. It's us. When we do pun, when we do good deeds, when we do benevolent deeds, then we become punni. And otherwise, we go the other route. Punni papi akhanai. Kar karna likh la jaye. You want to believe it's in this lifetime? Fine. I believe you take your soul through different migrations and you carry that with you. Kar karna likh la jaye. Ape beej ape hi khaye. Very important. We all talk about hukam, and if somebody is drinking, or if somebody is gambling, or somebody is doing whatever it is that is considered Bharoviji hukam vichar. No. The hukam is that if you were not in control of your actions, then Babaji would never say ape beej. You have to sow the seed. This body is the field of action. You have to sow the seeds. Babaji says, Naam boho boho, anurut nahi nahi. Sow the seeds of Naam. Anurut nahi nahi. This is not the weather or the climate or the season for sowing other seeds. Pai parapat manuk dehuriya. This dehe, this field of action. In this field of action, Naam boho boho. Plant the seeds of goodness, of the essence of Naam. Anurut nahi nahi. This weather, this season is not for doing other things. And we engage in other things. We engage in everything except Naam boho boho. Our egos are so fragile. Our hurts and wounds are so deep that 20 years later we carry that grudge, that revenge, that hatred. We don't talk to people. Think about bringing it to life. Can you really, truly, as Jessi says often, pray for someone who has wronged you? And if we cannot, then there is work to be done. Because Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbatta Pala. These are not just words. You have to feel from within. You have to feel. Yes, Vichaar.
So it's not just I think it's much more than action. Action, I think, comes like really later on.
Yes, thought. It's the thought before the action. It's the thought that creates the action. So the voice that comes before the thought, listen to that. There is a voice that comes before the thought. And if you can, that is the moment of redemption. That is the moment of change. The minute that thought comes, stop it. Stop it. And that changes the course of your destiny.
Again, it's not easy because
it's not easy.
Consciously, you have to watch each.
Vigilance, constant vigilance. That's why constant divine consciousness. Would the divine be like this? Would my guru like this? Do I want to be like this? Manda mool na kiche, je lambi nadar nihaliye. If I think about the consequences of what it's going to do to me, to my soul, to my future, this lifetime or other lifetimes, lambi nadar nihaliya. You will not for a second, for an iota, want to sow the seeds of negativity, because they will come back and create weeds, thorny cactuses in your own consciousness that will become barriers to your own evolution. कर करना लिख लिया जाए, आपे बीज आपे ही खाए, नानक हुक. This is the hukam. नानक हुक्मी आवे जाए. This is the hukam. Not that you can continue to live in negative energy. Not that you can, जी hukam है मैं चोरी चोर करना है भी hukam है. No, that's not the hukam. The hukam is that if you do this, if you bijo this, you will reap the result of what you are sowing. And the hukam is you will keep coming and going. Nanak hukmi aave jaye. The hukam is not this that you will, jado hukam hoega ji main udhar uthanga. Every day you have the choice. Yes, when you start that, the grace, the nadar, never discount that. This is so beautiful. It comes to my mind that when the child comes, I remember, I used to go hug Papa in the morning. Papa was my brother. He would say, "Ja naat ho ke aa pehla. Ja Baba ji de matha tek ke aa," ऐसा नहीं मैं तेरे हगी देनी, so yes, you go and cleanse yourself, but then he would say ja baba ji de matha tek ke aa pehle, right? When the child's feet are dirty, I think of Pepper, my little dog. He goes out barking at other dogs in the morning, right? He comes back with his feet totally soiled, and I take him to the sink, and with warm water I wash his feet, and then I dry them, and then when he's all clean I bring him back. The guru is like that. So another line comes to mind. Panda atmalin, a vessel chedi hai na, panda atmalin, अच्छा नहीं हो सकता. किस तरह होता है? गुरुद्वारे जाए अच्छा होए सी, एत द्वारे जाए सोजी पाए सी, फिर पांडा जाके अच्छा होता है. So who is the person, who is the force, who is the energy, where is the energy that cleanses us? Guru. The Guru's door is always open, because it is by going there that we will get that good seed that we will sow. When we have a fertile soil, we make it fertile, right? We go looking for seeds. Somebody told me, don't just go to Walgreens. Go to this Sunnyvale, whatever nursery on Wolf Road, because they have the best seeds. They have the best seeds. They have somehow cultivated the best seeds, and you get those seeds and you put them in the fertile soil, and then you water and nourish them. That's exactly what we have to do with our own consciousness. Go get the best seed. Get the best seed from the Guru. We have the seed. That's why Bij Mantar, the chanting, the Sangat, all those are seeds that you have to get from the Guru to plant in your consciousness. Water it, nurture it with vigilance. Putting barricades around it. When a sapling is small, you put a little barricade around it. I used to plant bulbs, and the squirrels would get them. And then I started putting stones around that so the squirrels wouldn't push them. And then what I saw one day? One squirrel was one squirrel was ahead of the other squirrel, and with both their forces they were pulling the stones away and getting to the bulbs. So this is the environmental danger. You watch TV, you play video games, whatever it is, you engage with people and you take on their consciousness, their mal. And those two squirrels will push each other and push the stones and get to the seed. So you have to plant that seed. You have to nurture it, water it, put a barricade around it. Discrimination, barricade of discrimination. And let it become a sapling, and then it'll become a tree. And that is going to turn into eventual goodness and cleansing. That is the naam that is going to take rang in your body, the color of love, and make you blossom. And that is what is going to be lok sukhiye, par lok sohele. It's going to erase all the pain and the agony, the ego, the barriers that that makes us all rogi. This naam, this seed that the Guru gives us of naam is going to make me cleansed and whole again, and that mal will go away. And then by the hukam, by the grace, by the nadar of Akal Purakh, by Gur Prasad, I'll merge back. Nanak hukmi avo jao. Eventually, we have to get there, all of us. Eventually the soul has to merge back. But how many lifetimes, how many iterations it takes, how much pain we have to endure before that? That is the question. When we want to change and have that transformation. And that's why we are so blessed that we have the Guru when we come into this Sikh household. We have this pure Bani that is Vaheguruji's Swaroop, that is there to guide us like a mother's lap. Gurbani is the mother's lap that nurtures and nourishes us and raises us. And Japji are the pauris that take us to that ultimate union with Vaheguruji. O to pehnave ke rang, punni papi aakhanai, kar kar karna likh la jaye, aape beej, this is the key, aape beej, aape hi khao. नानक हुक्मी आवो जाओ। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।